Hello and welcome to Zebra Tower and a little bit of Gunmaster, a game mode that I don't think gets enough love when people look back at Battlefield 3. Now if you're not familiar with Gunmaster, it's essentially Battlefield's take on the popular gun game mode from Counter-Strike. So a lot of people may know gun game from Call of Duty, but it was actually first done by Counter-Strike. And the principle is very simple. Everyone starts off with the same weapon, often a pistol, and you're basically trying to advance up a tree of weapons by getting kills. So usually between 1 and 3 kills with that weapon will advance you to the next one. And with Battlefield 3 there were lots of custom rotations, but the general consensus was you started with a pistol, and as you got more kills you advanced and got better weapons, and the aim was to get the allotted amount of kills with the final weapon before anybody else in order to win the game. And it was actually divided into 2 teams as well, so there was a little bit of an individual element to it where you are trying to get yourself through the guns as quickly as possible, particularly the early guns. One of the things that is very critical in Gunmaster is getting past those pistols as soon as possible, because it becomes exponentially more difficult if you're running around with a high recoil hand cannon and are going up against shotguns and assault rifles. More often than not, you're not going to be the winner in those one-on-one situations. But there is still that team element as well, with the fact that doing that also advances your team score as well. And you know, if you can get to the final gun and get those final kills before anybody else, your team wins as well. Now I think one of the reasons Gunmaster doesn't get as much love as some of the other game modes is because it's about as far away from the core of Battlefield gameplay as you can get. There's no vehicles, there's no objectives. It's not something that you think of when you think of a Battlefield game. But I really like it and I have a lot of fun when I play Gunmaster. Now I'm not going to claim to be an expert at this game mode. I particularly struggle to get past those early weapons. But I like it because it's fast paced, and as some of you may know, I also like infantry on infantry more than infantry versus vehicles. And I also think it's a really good way to warm up before you go into a lengthy close quarters session. It's a game mode that very much requires fast reflexes, so if you have a few rounds of Gunmaster before going into, say, a Conquest Domination, you feel a lot more warmed up and ready to go. And it certainly feels like a game mode that is very well tailored to the DLC that it came with. So it came as part of the Close Quarters DLC, and it runs really nicely on all the maps. My favourite is Zebra Tower, but I think every map seems very well geared to a game of Gunmaster, because the Close Quarters maps are not designed to allow you to sit and camp. They are designed to keep the action circulated and keep those players moving, and that lends itself very well to a game like Gunmaster, where that kind of gameplay is critical. If you don't keep moving, you're not going to get the kills in time to advance up the tree and get to those final weapons. So that's another reason that I like it so much. I like it when the action is constantly moving, and that happens all the time in Gunmaster. It also gives you the chance to try a lot of different weapon setups because you have no choice over what you fight with. Now I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know a lot of players, myself included, tend to stick to the same small group of setups and often have a preferred class as well, so you find yourselves often using the same weapons, maybe with the same attachments, and you very rarely try something different. Gunmaster really pushes you to do that, and I think there's something very satisfying about getting a couple of kills in a row with something you don't normally use, because it's really testing your skills. But one of the things that Gunmaster has that I think really sets it out is that adrenaline you get when you are close to getting the winning kill. Now you know when at least one player is close to that winning kill because the music starts to filter in. You know, that same music that you get towards the end of any sort of game, any game of Conquest, Team Deathmatch, Domination. And if you're one of those players that is getting towards the end of the tiers of weapons, maybe even on the final gun, you know that you have the chance to win the game for your team. And for me personally, that gives me a shot of adrenaline. It's so intense knowing that I can possibly win the game for my team, and all I have to do is get a couple of kills before somebody on the opposite team who is perhaps at the same level as me is trying to do the same. It's almost like a race. So basically it's a little bit of something different on Battlefield. I tend to play Gunmaster when I've been playing things like Conquest, Domination, Team Deathmatch, Rush quite a lot and want a change of pace, and Gunmaster really delivers that well. I think it's something that has been missing in the recent Battlefield games. That's something new, that's something different. Obviously with Battlefield 5 they dropped Firestorm to act as that, and I think it's a shame that we don't see it in the newer Battlefield games. But those are just my opinions. I'd like to hear yours as well. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, you guys take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all very soon.